Now on to one of the other three categories of birds alive today. Apart from the ostrich family, then, there's another category, fowl. Well, so ratites, that was the ostrich family, animals, birds like the ostrich, they can't fly, or except the tin of them. Ostrich family. Well, now we have the fowl. All right, fowl. What can we call fowl? Well, fowl. How about we call it the delicious family? Yeah, let's call it the delicious family. Fowl. This category, fowl. Good taste in birds. Well, they break down broadly into two kinds: land fowl and water fowl, pretty conveniently. And we'll go ahead with water fowl. Yes, we have ducks, geese, and swans, waterfowl. Now, fowl go back to certainly before, they go back as far as any bird does alive today in the fossil record, farther than any other kind of bird in the fossil record, because we actually have such a thing as a fossil of a duck from before the last mass extinction, a 66 million year old duck fossil from the shores of Antarctica. This is the only bird alive today that we actually have fossils from, a fossil of, from before the last mass extinction. So we know that ducks made it through. Well, it seems that way from this one fossil. But there were lots and lots of other kinds of fowl that we find in fossils from before the last mass extinction. But they all went extinct, except for this one waterfowl line. And, well, there must have been, we ain't got fossils to this, but there must have been some kind of land fowl, too, that made it through. We just don't have a fossil for it. So two kinds of fowl must have made it through the last extinction. And there must have been at least one kind of ratite. Well, we'll get to that another day. And there must have been at least one kind of neo-avian, but we'll save that for later. First, let's go ahead with, out of the various kinds of, few kinds of birds that actually made it through the last extinction, well, some sort of landfowl made it. And landfowl include, well, these are about the most famous ones around here, I suppose. The ever delicious guang pheasant, and delicious, nutritious turkey, and peafowl. You know about those two. You have the female peahen and the male peacock, the peafowl, and jungle fowl. I'll save that for later. Jungle fowl, the best tasting bird you can ask for. We'll get to that another time. And well, here you would, for quail, be more familiar probably with the meturial, the quail eggs. But quail then is another kind of fowl, and there are a bunch of other sorts of fowl out there alive today. And well, I don't have pictures for it because, well, you know what they look like. But when we have class together, you'll see photos of it, and I'll get into some more detail about that later. But I'll just say this about landfowl, that among landfowl, we have some three things of interest I'll mention. One of them is monogamy is rare among landfowl. We talk about monogamy. Well, it's rare among all fowl. And birds generally, most birds, well, there's lots of monogamy going on among birds, but, well, not fowl. One of your classmates, J. Hope, mentioned that swans practice monogamy. Well, that's waterfowl, but even among waterfowl, monogamy is rare. Even rarer among landfowl, almost unknown. But yeah, of course, there are exceptions. Like, more to it, interestingly, birds, well, they'll usually hatch 1 or 2 eggs, 3 eggs, if a lot, maybe 4 or 5. But landfowl can pop a lot of eggs, like maybe a dozen all at once. And it's just egg producing birds. And one last thing, hybridization happens easily among landfowl. Now, I talked about hybridization when I talked about the modern synthesis and gene flow. Hybridization being a particular kind of gene flow. Well, anyway, hybridization, so it's different species, but somehow they are actually able to crossbreed and come up with viable offspring. This is rare, it's unusual, it's infrequent, but relatively speaking anyway, it's not that hard for landfowl to do it. You can get a hybrid, you can crossbreed across species even without too much trouble. And I'll get into another kind of animal that hybridizes surprisingly easily later. That'll be of interest and a surprise to you, I'm sure. But I think it's interesting. I mean, hybridization. Why are these particular ones more easily able to hybridize? Why is it that these over here, well, you can get a hybrid more easily, but almost all the others, well, you can't. I mean, in the plant kingdom, it's not that hard, but mostly in the animal kingdom, for the most part, hybridization is very difficult, very rare, very infrequent. Why do certain kinds of animals hybridize relatively easily? This is one of the great mysteries, one of the countless great mysteries of nature.